This is Tony T here from TonySpace.com with our NFL pick show here for Sunday, September 15th. We'll have a pick from all 14 games scheduled. And if you're looking for my best plays, my premium picks, we'll go to TonySpace.com, click the link in the description to get onto my sales page. All right, let's get this one started. Raiders and Ravens NFL pick here for Sunday. Raiders starters on offense and defense healthy. Baltimore offensive starters healthy as well. A linebacker is questionable with a nickel back out. Las Vegas 0-1 after their 22-10 road defeat to the Chargers. The offense put up 296 yards, 71 rushing for under 4 yards a carry. On defense, they held LA to 316 yards, 176 rushing for over 6 yards a carry. Gardner Minshew 25 of 33, 257 yards with a touchdown and pick. Baltimore 0-1 with their 27-10 road defeat to Kansas City. 27-20 road defeat to Kansas City. The Ravens gained 452 yards, 185 rushing for nearly 6 yards per rush. On defense, they allowed 353 yards to the Chiefs with 281 passing on 28 attempts. Las Vegas defended the pass well last week to hold the Chargers to 5.4 yards per pass attempt. Minshew accurate 76% of his completions, 7.8 yards per pass attempt. The Ravens pass defense, the concern here, giving up 71% completions, 10 yards per pass attempt. In their opener, will play Las Vegas +9. Chargers and Panthers NFL pick here for Sunday. LA receiver Palmer questionable. On defense, a linebacker and nickelback are questionable with their free safety doubtful. Carolina tight end and left guard and right tackle are questionable. Their defensive starters healthy. LA 1-0 after their 22-10 home win to Las Vegas. Chargers gained 316 yards, 176 of it rushing for over 6 yards a carry. Justin Herbert 17 of 26 passing for 144 yards and a touchdown. On defense, they held Las Vegas to 296 yards, 225 passing yards on 33 attempts. Carolina 0-1, a 47-10 road defeat to New Orleans. Panthers gained just 193 yards, 58 of them rushing for under 3 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 379 yards to the Saints with 180 rushing for 5 yards a carry. Bryce Young, 13 of 30 passing for 161 yards and 2 picks. Chargers were running heavy last week, rushing 27 times with 26 passes. The ground and pound will also allow the Chargers to build a lead and milk clock. The Panthers did a poor job in defending the run last week. LA allowed only 5.4 yards per pass attempt in the opener. Carolina in the opener rushed for 2.9 yards, threw for 4.4 yards per pass attempt. Whereas Panthers' offensive line injuries are concerned, LA has significant defensive injury advantage in this game against the Panthers' offense. Play LA and Carolina under 39. Saints and Cowboys NFL pick this one here on Sunday. New Orleans left tackle questionable. On defensive tackle out with a corner questionable. Dallas tight end is out with their defensive starters healthy. New Orleans is 1-0 after their 47-10 home win to Carolina. The Saints put up 379 yards in the game, 180 rushing for nearly 5 yards a carry. On defense, they held the Panthers to 193 yards with 135 passing on 31 attempts. Derek Carr, 19 of 23 passing for 200 yards with 3 touchdowns. Dallas now 1-0 after their 33-17 road win to Cleveland. Cowboys gained 165 yards with 102 rushing for 4 yards a carry. They held 265 yards, I should say. They held the Browns to 220 yards, 137 passing on 45 attempts. So that pass defense sharp. Dak Prescott, 19 of 32 passing for 179 yards and a touchdown. The Saints' run game was impressive last week, and that will greatly aid the efficiency of Carr in the passing game. The defense held the Panthers to 2.9 yards per run, 3.8 yards per pass attempt, and that was in a divisional game. New Orleans has covered 5 of 8 as a road underdog of 7 points or less. Play New Orleans +6. Buccaneers and Lions NFL pick Sunday. Tampa Bay right tackle out. On defense, an end and free safety out. An end, corner, and nickel back are questionable. Detroit has a receiver and right tackle questionable. On defense, an end is doubtful with a free safety questionable. Tampa Bay now 1-0 after their 37-20 home win to Washington. The Buccaneers put up 92 yards with 112 rushing for under 4 yards per rush. Baker Mayfield here 24 of 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Defensively, they allowed 299 yards to the Commanders with 161 passing yards on 24 attempts. Detroit 1-0 after their 26-20 home overtime win to the LA Rams. The Lions gained 363 yards, 163 rushing for over 5 yards a carry. Jared Goff here, 18 of 28 passing for 217 yards with a touchdown and pick. On defense, the team surrendered 387 yards to the Rams with 304 passing yards on 49 attempts. Tampa Bay was a playoff team that eliminated the Eagles, so give them some respect for that. Mayfield's accuracy in downfield passing was impressive. Detroit gave up 69% completions to the Rams last week, and their defense banged up heading into this one. The play will be Tampa Bay plus 7.5. Colts and Packers NFL pick for Sunday. Indianapolis, the receiver Downs is questionable. On defense, a safety out with an end and tackle questionable. Green Bay quarterback Love questionable with receiver Reed questionable as well. Their defensive starters are healthy. Indianapolis 0-1 after their 28-27 home defeat to Houston. The Colts gained 303 yards, 104 rushing for 4.5 yards a carry. Anthony Richardson 9 of 19 passing for in the game, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Defensively, they allowed 417 yards to the Texans with 213 rushing yards, 5.2 yards a carry. Green Bay 0-1, a 34-29 road defeat to Philadelphia. Packers gained 414 yards, 163 rushing for 6 yards a carry. It was Jordan Love here, 17-34 passing for 260 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Defensively, the Packers allowed 410 yards to the Eagles with 266 passing yards on 34 attempts. Of course, Love's injury, the concern here. Indianapolis injuries on defense as well concerning. Their defense performed poorly against last week, giving up 5.3 runs, 5.3 yards per rush, 75% completion rate. The Packers have covered 4 of 6 as a home underdog. You know, if Willis plays, the Packers will run heavy and play that ball position game. Play will be Green Bay here plus 2.5. 'Browns and Jaguars NFL pick here for Sunday. Cleveland right tackle and Cleveland tight end and left tackle are out. Their right tackle questionable. We got that. Browns defensive starters healthy. Jacksonville starters on offense are healthy. Defensively, a free safety out. Cleveland 0-1 after their 33-17 home defeat to Dallas. The Browns put up 220 yards, 93 rushing for 4.5 yards a carry. Deshaun Watson 24 of 45 passing for 169 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks. On defense, the Browns allowed 165 yards to the Cowboys with over 100 yards in the game. Rushing here for 102 yards, rushing for 4 yards a carry. Jacksonville 0-1 with their 20-17 road defeat at Miami. The Jaguars put up 267 yards with 128 rushing yards for nearly 5 yards a carry. Trevor Lawrence here, 12 of 21 passing for 162 yards with a touchdown. On defense, they allowed 400 yards to the Dolphins, 319 passing on 37 attempts. The pass defense here is a concern for the Jags. They allowed 8.6 yards per pass attempt to the Dolphins. It was an inefficient passing game for Lawrence. The Browns pass defense allowed 5.1 yards per pass attempt last week. We're going to take Cleveland here plus 3. '49ers and Vikings NFL pick for Sunday. 49ers running back McCaffrey out. On defense, a safety is questionable. Minnesota receiver Addison is out with their tight end and guard tackle questionable. On defense, a safety is questionable. San Francisco 1-0 after their 32-19 home win on Monday night. To the New York Jets, the 49ers gain 401 yards, 180 rushing for 4.7 yards a carry. Minnesota 1-0, a 28-6 road win to the New York Giants. Vikings put up 321 yards with 111 rushing for 4 yards a carry. Of course, in that win for the 49ers, Sam Darnold 19-24 for 208 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Defensively, they held defensively in that game here for the Vikings. I should say that was Sam Darnold for the Vikings. That's who did it there, not 49ers. Defensively, they held New York to 240 yards, 166 passing yards on 42 attempts. Now, there is a significant injury advantage here for the Vikings defense versus the 49ers offense. based on Dr. Chow's numbers. Also factor the short week and travel spot for the 49ers. Darnold accurate, and averaged 8.4 yards per pass attempt in this opener on the road. The Vikings defense was strong last week, playing Minnesota plus 4.5. Seahawks and Patriots NFL pick. Here we go for Sunday. Seattle running back Walker and their right tackle are doubtful. On defense, a linebacker out with their remaining two backers questionable. The New England left guard out with their right guard questionable. On defense, the safety questionable. Seattle is 1-0 after their 26-20 home win in Denver. Seahawks put up 304 yards with 146 rushing for 4.5 yards a carry. On defense, they limited the Broncos to 231 yards, 99 rushing for 4 yards per carry. Geno Smith in the game, 16-25 passing for 171 yards with a touchdown and pick. New England now 1-0 at 16-10 road win at Cincinnati. Patriots put up 280 yards, 170 rushing for over 4 yards a carry. On defense, they held the Bengals to 224 yards, 154 passing yards on 29 attempts. Jacoby Brissett, 15-24 passing for 121 yards. Now, there is a significant injury advantage for the Seattle defense here based on Dr. Chow's numbers. New England passing attack is the concern as they've averaged only 5 yards per pass attempt. The Patriots defended the pass well last week. Seattle did a great job of defending the pass against the Broncos, giving up just 3.1 yards per pass attempt. Player will be Seattle, New England, under 38.5. Jets and Titans NFL pick Sunday. New York starters on offense are healthy. On defense, and end and corner are questionable. Tennessee healthy on offense and defense. New York 0-1 after the 32-19 road defeat at San Francisco on Monday. The Jets gained 266 yards with 68 rushing for 3.3 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 401 yards to the 49ers with 180 rushing for over 4.5 yards a carry. Aaron Rodgers 13-21 passing for 167 yards with a touchdown and interception. Tennessee fell to 0-1 with a 24-17 road win at Chicago. The Titans blew a 17-0 lead early. The team put up 244 yards with 140 rushing for 5.4 yards a carry. On defense, they held the Bears to 148 yards with 64 passing on 29 attempts. Will Levis, 19-32 passing for 127 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks. Short week for New York and back-to-back road spot here. The Jets' run game sputtered for 3.6 yards a carry. What was worse was the Jets' defense here. That gave up 4.7 yards per rush, 7.6 yards per pass attempt. The Titans were able to have success on the ground last week. Their defensive performance was good. We'll take Tennessee plus 4. Giants and Commanders NFL pick for Sunday. New York starters on offense are healthy. On defense, a linebacker and corner are out. Washington has healthy starters on offense. Defensively, an end and free safety questionable. New York 0-1 after their 28-6 home defeat to Minnesota. Giants gained 240 yards, 74 of it rushing for 3.4 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 312 yards to the Vikings with 201 passing yards on 24 attempts. Daniel Jones, 22 of 42 for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. Washington 0-1 with their 37-20 road defeat to Tampa Bay. Commanders put up 299 yards with 138 rushing for 3.5 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 392 yards to the Bucs with 280 passing yards on 30 attempts. Jane Daniels, 17-24 for 184 yards. Washington showed better running ability last week. Both defenses surrendered at or near 80% completion rate. The Commanders allowed 9.3 yards per pass attempt to the Bucs. The Giants giving up 8.4 yards per pass attempt to the Vikings. Play New York and Washington over 43. Rams and Cardinals NFL pick Sunday. LA has a receiver out. Their right guard questionable. On defense, a corner and nickelback are questionable. Arizona is healthy on both sides of the football. LA 0-1 after their 26-20 road overtime defeat to Detroit. The Rams put up 387 yards, 83 rushing for over 3 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 363 yards to the Lions with 160 rushing yards for over 5 yards a carry. Matthew Stafford here, 34 of 49 passing for 317 yards with a touchdown and pick. Arizona now 0-1, a 34-28 road defeat to Buffalo. Cardinals put up 270 yards, 124 rushing for 5 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 352 yards to the Bills, 222 passing yards on 23 attempts. Kyler Murray here, 21 of 31 passing for 162 yards with a touchdown and pick. Arizona has a significant injury advantage based on the Dr. Chow numbers. The biggest advantage here is with the Cardinals defense versus the Rams offense. A back-to-back road spot for the Rams here. LA surrendered 69% completion rate in the loss last week. A healthy Murray could do damage with his legs here at home. Play Arizona to pick him. Bengals and Chiefs NFL pick. Here we go. Sunday, Cincinnati receiver T. Higgins doubtful. Their defensive starters healthy. Kansas City starters are healthy on offense and defense. Cincinnati 0-1 with a 16-10 home defeat to New England. The Bengals gained 224 yards, 70 rushing for 4 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 290 yards to the Patriots with 170 rushing yards for 4.3 yards per run. Joe Burrow 21-29 passing for 164 yards. KC 1-0 with their 27-20 home win to Baltimore. The Chiefs posted 353 yards, 72 rushing for 3.4 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 452 yards to the Ravens with 185 rushing for nearly 6 yards per run. Patrick Mahomes here, 20 of 28 passing for 291 yards with a touchdown. Expect a bounce back for the Bengals. You know, when you don't play starters in the preseason, you pay for it in week 1. The Bengals pass defense held the Patriots at 5 yards per pass step. Burrow did complete 72% of his passes, but would expect more downfield throws here. KC gave up nearly 6 yards a carry on the ground in the opener. Play Cincinnati here +5. Steelers and Broncos NFL pick Sunday. Russell Wilson listed as questionable for the Steelers as Justin Fields expected to play. Their left guard is out. Pittsburgh's defensive starters are healthy. Denver receiver Vele is out with their defensive starters healthy. Pittsburgh 1-0 with their 18-10 road win in Atlanta. The Steelers put up 270 yards in the game, 137 rushing for nearly 3.5 yards a carry. Defensively, they held the Falcons at 226 yards, 137 passing on 26 attempts. Justin Fields here, 17-23 passing for 156 yards. Denver 0-1 with their 26-20 road defeat to Seattle. The Broncos put up 231 yards, 99 rushing for 4 yards a carry. On defense, the Broncos allowed 304 yards to the Seahawks, 146 rushing yards for over 4.5 yards per run. Bo Nix completed 26 of 42 passes for 148 yards and 2 picks. The Steelers rushing for 3.3 yards a carry. It'll make it difficult for Fields to make plays in the passing game. First home game for Nix, but he got 46 passing attempts last week, so which shows they have confidence in his ability. Pittsburgh offensive showing makes it difficult to lay points in this high elevation setting and in a back-to-back road spot. Play Denver +2.5. Bears and Texans NFL pick Sunday. The Bears receivers Allen and Odunze are questionable. Their fullback is out. On defense, Anand is questionable. Houston center is questionable, and their defensive starters healthy. Chicago 1-0 with their 24-17 home win to Tennessee. The Bears gained 148 yards, 84 rushing for under 4 yards a carry. Defensively, they limited the Titans to 244 yards with 140 rushing yards for 4.5 yards a carry. Caleb Williams, 14 of 29 passing for 93 yards. Houston 1-0 after their 28-27 road win in Indy. The Texans gained 417 yards, 213 rushing for 5.2 yards a carry. On defense, the Texans allowed 303 yards to the Colts with 199 passing yards on 19 attempts. C.J. Stroud, 24-32 passing for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bears' pass defense was outstanding last week, allowing 59% completion rate, 3.3 yards per pass attempt. The offense sputtered with Williams' inaccuracy and averaged only 2.2 yards per pass attempt. Houston last week allowed 47% completion rate. The Texans are 11-7 to the under in their past 18 home play. Chicago and Houston under 45.5. Looking for my best plays, my premium picks, best bets? Well, go to Tony'sPicks.com for them. Find the link in the description. I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you later.